What up, Buckeye Nation? Welcome to the Buckeye Boys, where we talk about college football with real fans. I'm your host, Devan. This is your host, Melo. And then we got another person in the chat today, or in the show today with us. Tony, what's up, my man?
What's up, man? Glad to be back, bud.
Yeah, how you doing, Tony?
I'm good, Melo. Good.
Tony is behind the scenes. He is an official part of the Buckeye Boys. Any type of You can see our background right now behind our videos. That's Tony. You saw our logo being made. That's Tony. Anything that you see going on with art, graphic designing, the shirts that are about to come out, all that, give Tony an applause. Curse Designs, man. So if anybody's got a small business, man, where they need anything made, or a big business, it don't matter, man. Hit us up, dude. Tony's very good at what he does. So
I'll design about anything.
Yeah, amen. Well, how was Melo? How was your day today?
Man, it was busy. I had to actually do some adulting, as you could tell by the polo that I'm wearing.
Oh wow!
So
look at you,
yeah,
bro.
had to switch it up a little bit today. How was your day, Tony?
I was good. I've been sick for like the last week. I missed a bunch of games because I was super sick over the weekend, and I'm just getting around and getting up to it. So I'm feeling much better now.
Man, I'm good. I'm happy for that.
Yeah,
dude. Tony,
what were you up to?
I gotta just give a shout out to his hoodie right now. Dude.
Oh yeah, man, that thing
fire,
is fire,
bro.
I get stopped like when I wear this hoodie. Like I have to remember, people will stop me and want to just look at it.
Yeah,
And I've had it for like a year and a half, and people will be like, "What about this?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I've never seen that before." So like, it's really it's crazy. There's stuff everywhere.
I like it, man. Now my day was a normal work day, man. Actually, a little bit more than normal. I did a little more work than normal, then got soaked and rained on and all that stuff. So the rain gave me an opportunity to do a little bit of research on the 2026 recruits, which we'll be dropping a video on that shortly. So that was some good news. But yeah, man, I want to start off and talk about a couple games this weekend. I went through the schedule, and not really too many games out there that I'm super excited to watch. But one of the games I want to talk about very briefly is the Nebraska-Illinois game.
Yes.
Right? They play Friday, man. And being a Buckeye, we play them. And to be honest with you, at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the season, we would have thought this is going to be a walkthrough game. And in a way, I still think it is. But then there's that other thing that's like, hey, dude, they have stepped their game up a little bit, man. So I'm really interested to see. I think Illinois will be a good test for them. Illinois has been playing good. And I think this is going to be a game where we're really going to see what Nebraska is made of. Melo, what's your thoughts on that?
That's the game that I'm actually most excited to see outside of Ohio State nationally. I think it's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be close, well fought. I want to see Dillon going up against that defense. Illinois is hot right now. So I think it's going to be a good one, I actually looking forward to it more than the Tennessee-Oklahoma game. I think Tennessee is going to dog walk Oklahoma. So
yeah, I don't think that game will be close.
Right.
Yeah. And then Tony, you got any thoughts on Illinois, Nebraska, or did we pretty much hit it all?
No, I mean, he pretty much hit it all, but like I think that's another one of those games that like it's going to show you whether a team is a pretender or not. You know what I'm saying? They're going up against another good team that has a really good defense, and we've had a lot of kind of chaos where like people were hyped up out of the blue and then came out and looked dead and looked good again, and like it's been a bit chaotic. So like I think we'll see if at least Nebraska has enough to keep going and they're not just all hype.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, Melo, you brought up another game I wanted to touch on, Tennessee, Oklahoma. And a lot of these games I'm bringing up are like those temperature games, right? Where you look at a team, they look like they're running at 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, we're about to find out. You know what I mean? Right. We'll see what they do. In Tennessee, Oklahoma, I think that will also be a good game to kind of see where Tennessee is, because a lot of people are talking up Tennessee right now. I being one of those people, very impressed about, what I've been seeing. So your guys' thoughts there?
I think they look as advertised, if not better. You know what I'm saying? They came out and like look like world beaters, and it's kind of scary for a minute. Tennessee has a kind of falls off in the middle or at the end sometimes. So like it's not that scary, but they look really good.
Yeah.
You know, and like,
Do either of you two know the level that Oklahoma is? I'm gonna be honest. I haven't watched them play one time, so all I know is I believe they're ranked right now. Are they ranked?
I
Yeah.
can look. Are they ranked?
They are. All I know about Oklahoma is what I hear from RJ Young and some of the SEC podcasters, because RJ Young's a huge Oklahoma fan, and he's saying they're going to get dog walked by Tennessee. So if he's saying that nationally,
yeah,
I think they will.
I don't know how much faith I have in Brent Venables at all. So
yeah. They said the quarterback that pushed out Dylan Gabriel is not looking so hot. Yeah. Jackson Arnold.
Yep.
They say he's not looking too hot. For this game and with Tennessee, I think I want to see, usually Oklahoma's defense is good because that's Brent Venables' bag. But I want to see how Tennessee is really going to do, because I know they handled business. They played some not so great teams, but they did what they were supposed to do. They dominated them. Right. So that's always a good sign. The thing with Tennessee that always caution everybody is normally their offense is kind of gimmicky, and it catches up with them when they play elite teams, like a couple of years ago when they played UGA and they got blown out. The only difference with this team is I think their QB right now is 10 times better than the QB they had previously. So we'll see what's up.
Yeah. The other game I wanted to hit on, me and Melo have kind of already hit on it, but I want to hit on a specific piece of news that has been dropped. I think yesterday we learned about it, but the USC scum game, the team up north, we already know. Me and Melo already talked about. We believe they're going to get dog walked, essentially. Curse, do you feel the same?
Oh, absolutely. Like, it's like not going to be close at all. It's going to be the Miller Moss and Lincoln Riley show. It's going to be crazy. Yeah.
But specifically, Orgy received the starting job over there. And I know there's a lot of fans out there that are a lot of Team Up North fans that are pretty excited. But then there's also the other side of fans that know the reality of the situation. So you're in the middle, at least my experience is you're kind of in the middle of some fans that have actually living in reality now. A little bit, took them long enough. Of that, the season is pretty much a bust. And then you have the other side that think Orgy's going to come in there and be the answer to all of their problems. Melo, thoughts on Orgy coming in and taking them to another national title?
That's
got jokes tonight.
Man, that's the best joke of the year, right? But in all seriousness, I think Orgy is a better option than Davis Warren. Davis Warren is not the guy. He can't throw and he can't run, so he does nothing for you, especially with that below average O-line that they have and no weapons on the outside. Nobody knows if Colson's Loveland is actually going to play. So your best bet is to just give the ball to Orgy, and yes, everybody knows they're going to run, put Mullings back in the backfield, and hope that they could make something happen, some kind of magic. But yes, I don't see them making it to the college playoffs or even a bowl game. I still think they only won 4 games.
Yeah, Tony.
I already saw I saw Orgy throw the ball already. Like, it's not going to get any better. And like, I mean, Davis Warren couldn't do anything. Alex Orgy can run. I don't know. It's the lesser of two evils, I guess. But like, that's like saying you're the smartest kid in the special class. Like, it doesn't work out. Like,
yeah, gotcha.
I mean, there's no win there, bud.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of quarterbacks, we got a conversation that was had before season, but now we're in the season and we've seen both these quarterbacks on the field now. And I'm speaking of the backup quarterback for us, for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Julian Sayin or Devin Brown. I keep hearing that a lot. Like, are they going to let Sayin come in and be the backup quarterback now? Or are we going to see that happen in this game, or what's going to happen? I'm still of the opinion that, and I don't see my opinion changing. Melo, I know we got different opinions on this, but I personally don't see Sayin winning the starting quarterback job
The backup quarterback job?
Yeah, the backup. What did I say? The running
starter.
I don't see him winning it either.
Yeah, he's definitely not getting the starting over Will.
Win the starting quarterback job. Backup quarterback job. Yeah, man, Brown. I would love to see Sayin. I do believe it's Sayin or help me, Melo. Air next year. We can't keep throwing him out like that he's not even there.
Right.
But I guess it's that balance of what do you how much do you get ready for next year and how much do you pour into this year? If Will Howard goes down, do you guys really want Julian Sayin to come in?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tony.
You do. Against Marshall.
Like personally, like watching those two in the last game, like Julian Sayin was much more electric and was much more entertaining for my money. And Devan Brown, I feel, is a hill that Ryan Day is still dying on from last year. And I think he's just an average quarterback. He's never come to fruition. And Julian Sayin, like, has such a ceiling that why would you not foster that now? Because you got Tavian St. Clair coming in behind him. Like, you're going to have such a packed room. Like, why not give the best quarterback of the future the leg up now? Because you've been riding the Devan Brown train and dying on that hill for a year and a half, and it's not working. Yeah. He still looks finicky and still is not quite there. And Julian Sayin went in there and, like, I feel like everybody was way more interested to see him, and it went better than Devan. That's just my personal opinion. So
for me, as the fan of me, I want Julian Air to play over Devan Brown. I don't think Devan Brown has a future here, to be honest with you. I think he's gonna. I don't know if he leaves, but I don't see him starting here.
Kyle McCord's twin brother.
Yeah, but in terms of just the CEO and going into Ryan Day's head, I think Devan's right on this. Devan Brown's going to be the number 2 because he feels like Devan Brown has more grasp of the offense. He's been here for a while. I think they're in win now mode, and if something happens to Will, I think Ryan feels more comfortable just throwing Devan in there right now instead of one of the freshmen. Personally, I'd rather see Julian or Air. That's just me, though.
I totally get that. So when you're in the mindset of preparing for the future, 100%, like I feel you. It's either going to be Air or Sayin starting next year. I do not believe, Brown is going to win that job, but there's kind of 2 arguments you make there. Number one, you don't want to throw Air or Julian in early before they're ready, right? And right. kind of put that on them. Julian Sayin, is he physically ready to go in, right? Is there potential that he gets hurt even more, or the potential to get like a serious injury because he's not physically there? And then you go to this next one of, so let's play a scenario out. Let's play a scenario that we go into the Iowa game. Halftime, it's tied. They come out in the third quarter. Will Howard gets injured, cannot come back in the game. It's tied versus Iowa. Who are we putting in? The quarterback that has been around for 3 years, knows the playbook, has chemistry with the wide receivers, and has more experience playing in games, or the freshman QB that physically might not be ready. He doesn't have that much experience with the playbook as Devan Brown. Which one do you want coming in to win that game?
I want Julian to come in, but you said which one do you want? Yeah, so that's the fan. That's the fan in me.
I have a couple counterpoints to that to just try to steel man that argument.
Yeah, I love counterpoints.
But I think it's going to be Devan Brown. I mean, because of how this team is in win now mode. That's just how Day's MO is. Now, what's your counterpoints, Tony?
So one thing, I think Ryan Day feels comfortable with Devan Brown, but I don't think he thinks Devan Brown's better. I think he just has a big change is scary, right?
Right.
But to be fair, Julian Sayin is said to have one of the best football IQs and Ackermans in the quarterback room. Like Devan Brown, we've seen enough Devan Brown play enough snaps, and he's either getting hurt or he looks finicky. Like, there's not been any really great drives, right? So, like, you're going to put, like, he's got a worse injury history than Julian Thayen, who might be slight of size, but, like, he had that 10-yard run. He looked good. He stood in the pocket. Like, for my money, like, give me the smarter kid with the higher ceiling. I've seen Devin Brown. I'm over the show.
Yeah. No, I mean, and again, that makes sense. I hear you. You know, so there's different sides to it.
It is.
For sure, and you can argue both ways. But I did want to bring that up for sure. The next thing I want to bring up is we've brought it up before, but in a perfect world, let's say this world is perfect, and Jim Knowles, our defensive coordinator, uses all players exactly where they need to be used. What does he do with CJ Hicks? In a perfect world, what's he do? I want to hear what he should do, and what you think he's going to do. Melo.
Jack position, but it's not going to happen with the D line that we have. You're not pulling a defensive lineman off to play CJ Hicks. I mean, there's no way that's happening. What is he going to do? He's going to lower his snap count. That's exactly what's going to happen. He'll still rotate in. He's just not getting as many snaps. He's clearly can't grasp the concept of playing a linebacker in this system. It is what it is, you know, at this point.
Yeah. Tony?
I think in a perfect world, all things perfect, CJ Hicks knows how to play linebacker, but we don't live in a perfect world. And Jim Knowles would leave him there. But in this world, I honestly think it's the same thing. Like, there's too much talent in front of him, and the defensive line is a bunch of terrorists. Like, you're not about to move one of them. Right. Like, they're all playing great. The backups, and like, they're 7 deep over there. Like, they're not, CJ Hicks not fitting in. And, Jim Knowles has already abandoned ship on the jack position, has put his foot down. Like, I think that's what he does. And we just roll Arvell Reese and the real guys out there, and that's it. CJ Hicks is just a casualty of war. Sucks.
Isn't that sad and depressing?
It is. Listen,
all this hype that we've had,
all we've heard,
5-star recruit coming out of Ohio. Everybody wanted
level.
Everybody wanted him to get it, and it's just kind of a hard thing to let go of. I keep finding my mind going towards keep putting him in. Don't lower his snap count. Put him in. He's going to get it.
Yeah, but when you have people like Arvell Reese and whatever, like playing like a madman, like, dude.
Yeah, that's the next person I want to bring up. I said in a previous video, Melo, that my prediction was we're going to see a lot more of Gabe Powers this game.
Mm-hmm. I'm not mad about it. I like Gabe Powers. I think he's a good kid. He looked good when he had that one interception. It was ridiculous. So I like it.
He got a pick 6.
Yeah.
I think he from intelligence IQ level in terms of the linebacker, I honestly think everyone in that linebacker room, except maybe Peyton Pierce, but James Laurentis said that Peyton Pierce's IQ is ridiculous. Probably has a higher IQ level than CJ Hicks in terms of playing in this scheme. I'm not saying CJ Hicks can't play linebacker. I just don't think he could play linebacker for Jim Knowles. Yeah. And that's my question to you guys. Why is that? Is it he's not studying the film? He's not like remembering his mistakes and learning from them? Because to me, when you're that kind of speed, like, and his speed because of the blitzing, they said he's the best blitzer in the linebacker room. When you're moving that slow, it means you're thinking, you're overthinking, you're not playing, you're not naturally reacting. So what do you think is the cause of that?
I think he's never learned the footwork. Like, the one thing Sonny at least is doing when he moved from safety, he's talked about it. Like, James has taught him the footwork, when to go fast, when to go slow, when to move, when not to move. And I think CJ Hicks he's trying to run too much on instinct and he doesn't have it. They've unleashed CJ Hicks and it's underwhelming. You know what I'm saying? That's what we've heard for 3 years. And I think after 3 years of the same defensive coordinator's playbook, like, Jim Knowles' defense can be somewhat complicated. It's not that complicated. Like, you've been there for 3 years and a dude moved from safety and he's doing better than you. Like, I think that proves it all.
So here's kind of my thoughts on it. We heard in the offseason how much improvement he was making, right? And let's go ahead and just believe that. let's believe that. That's what we heard. He won, several, like, I forget what they did, but like dudes of the week or something like that. He was in there a couple of different times. Definitely one of the most athletic kids on the team. But you hear about those players all the time that do really good in practice, and for some reason, when they get in the game,
they just can't get
they
it.
just can't handle the pressure. So I don't know if it's a confidence thing or a pressure thing, or if it's getting to his head that he knows the level he should be playing at, and he knows he's not meeting that level. And it's kind of like the snowball effect. It just keeps, every time that happens, he just adds pressure on himself more and more and more. So I would almost lean more towards that, but you guys are making a good point of it's the linebacker position. It's not the simplest position to play on defense. So
most linebackers are legitimately born as linebackers, and that's how they are. Sonny's like an anomaly where he came down from safety, and people are like, he can't play linebacker. And it could be that like Sonny and him were coming up at the same time in that linebacker room this year, and they were both doing good. And so Sonny looks good, CJ might look good, but you get against live opponents, and I mean, we saw Sonny be kind of off step in the wrong place that first game. He just got it together faster. And that's what I'm saying. If a dude coming from safety that's not a natural linebacker can't get it, and a 5-star linebacker that I've heard about for 3 years can't get it, that solves it for me. It's over.
I think that to back up to your point about the first game and Sonny, I think a lot of that, me and Dev have talked about this in the previous show. I think a lot of that is because he was playing next to CJ.
That's honestly. He was just like 1 step off, where he had a lot on his shoulders. He was playing the mic. He had a lot going on, and he was right there. But then he made a marked improvement when Cody Simon came back. Like, he looked like he should look. And CJ never looked like he should look, ever. 3 years, not one time.
Yeah. He also was playing not his normal position that first game. Remember that.
He was playing the mic, and he had the green dot. Like, he had a lot on his shoulders, and he was still
he did.
almost right there. And CJ never was.
Did you guys see Sonny Styles' interview today? Where he was talking about his not Sonny, it was Lorenzo, my fault. And he was talking about, they were asking him about Sonny Styles, his brother. And he was like, yeah, we hold each other accountable. And they were asking him how he thinks he's playing. He said he's doing well, but he could do a lot better. I have higher standards for him. And he said his dad has been helping Sonny out a lot, along with James, obviously. But his dad used to play linebacker. So his dad's been helping him out a lot. And you could see the progression. I think CJ playing next to Sonny kind of impeded Sonny in that game, because if you look, CJ was making a lot of mistakes, and when you only have 2 linebackers and you're a partner, if one of you are making a lot of mistakes, it could make you both look bad.
Yeah, for sure. I was going to dive into the interviews. You brought up Lorenzo. When I watched his interview, the first thing I noticed is the dude looks jacked, and I honestly, last time I saw him, I don't remember him looking quite like that. So I think the dude is still in there getting it in. And he said something that really piqued my interest. And this might be me just being crazy or just not that knowledgeable on football. But he said that he has to go ask Sonny all the time about, the run gaps that he has to play in the nickel position for the new defensive calls. He said new defensive calls. Now, is that a normal thing throughout the season to keep installing new defenses? Or I think Lorenzo's been there long enough to kind of get a grasp of all the defenses. So when he said new, I almost thought that maybe they're trying to implement some brand new things that players that have been on the team for 3 years with Jim Knowles have not seen. Am I reading too much into that? Or when he says new plays, is it just that's a normal thing throughout the year to just have more installs throughout the year?
I would think so. I mean, with Jim Knowles, I imagine he's an ever-evolving dude. He's just like Chip Kelly. He's going to put stuff on film that he may never run, but he wants to try it. Like, he'll put it away for another day, and he'll come back and get it. Like, Jim Knowles is a smart guy. Just like Chip Kelly, I wouldn't put it past him. Like, that sounds about right. Like, I mean, who wouldn't continue to evolve throughout the season, going what you – like, if you saw Oregon the first 3 weeks, you could literally go like, okay, we can do this, and this now, and we're going to try this, and they're never going to see what we're doing, but you need to learn these 4 plays. These are the new plays for this week, so we can try. Like, something like that. I would assume Jim Knowles is always doing that because, I mean, people do that in video games. I imagine Jim Knowles is a professional coach to do it.
Yeah.
I think that's a very astute observation by you, Dev, actually.
Like,
no, I heard him say it. And when I was watching it, I didn't pick that up until you just, as you were saying the question and everything and talking about what he said, it clicked in my head immediately, the same thought you had. And yes, I think exactly what Tony said. Jim Knowles is just like Chip Kelly, and they talk a lot, and they're going to put a lot of stuff in, and they're going to put a lot of things on film for you to have to prepare for. And also, you got to think about it. What's our toughest game going to be this year, if you think about it, during the regular season?
Well, I want to say Oregon.
Yeah. So everything is a slow build for that game. And I'm telling you, I during the off season, I don't remember who it was, but somebody said, yeah, they brought up October 12th. I'm gonna
Denzel
go look
Burke.
Oh, okay, yeah. And they said, yeah, we're coming.
It was in the Big Ten Media Day.
Yeah, they're gonna light that ass up,
bro. Yeah,
belt to ass. So and Naim Alford's gonna be on that sideline. You think they're not gonna try to embarrass that team? Yeah, that's when they're gonna unleash.
Hey, I read a little nugget today on the Naim Alford. It's perfect time to drop it.
Okay,
let's hear it.
On a message board, I forget. I believe it was over there on Bucknuts. They put out there. I think this has been known, but I just want to reiterate it that the offer that Oregon has put on the table for Naim Alford is ridiculous. Is a lot of money. So that's the rumor out there right now, and people are saying that they're 50. Insiders are saying now they're about 50-50 on whether he sticks in the class or not, simply because of the money. They've been paying him a lot of money to come visit, and on top of that, the offer that's on the table for him is a lot. When I read that, I was kind of like, how recruiting, you go in waves, man. One day you're like, oh, he's a stick, hands down for sure, 100%. The next day you're like, dang, he's gone. We lost him. Next day, you're good. Well, this is my day to think, crap, dude. Something needs to happen. But Melo, to your point, that day, if we go in there and we whoop up on them, I don't think that money's going to matter.
I'll put another silver lining on that for you. That offer does not include OG Walt. And those kids respect that kid, and you're going to get to come and play with him. Like, everybody talks about how much he loves and he wants to come play for OG Walt, and like he has a chance, to be the number 1 and 2, in him and Devan Sanchez, like right there together. And if he's not, like at the end of the day, like that opens up the spot for another big recruit. And if he doesn't want to be here after we annihilate Oregon and to play for OG Walt, then like, why do we want him? That's how you got to look at it.
Man, I feel you on that, Tony. It is very easy. It comes down to, do you want money now, or do you want to be developed and get the bag in the NFL? Who's the highest paid corner right now? Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
Who's his favorite corner? Naeem's favorite corner. Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
Who did Jalen Ramsey FaceTime and tell Naim the best coach he ever had was?
OG Walt.
So, Naim, if you're watching this, or if you happen to ever watch this, which I don't know if you will or won't, hopefully you do.
Hopefully you do.
Use your brain. I understand the situation in Parker, Alabama. I got people that are out there. I got family out that way. I know how it is out there, but you got to play the long game. You're going to get paid in Columbus. You're going to still get paid in Columbus. It might not be that Oregon Nike bag, but you're going to get paid to where you can help your family out anyway. Play that long game, get that development, win a couple of natties, and go ahead and go to the NFL and make your money. That's my only message to you, brother.
You're making 5 times that amount versus going first round versus third round in the NFL draft. So focus on that. Earlier, we were talking about players, that we wanted to see: Gabe Powers, Lorenzo Styles. Another one I'm curious to know if you guys think we're going to see him this year in any type of role at all, and that's Mylan Graham, the other 5-star receiver that Day loves him.
I pray to God that we do. I want to see that kid, man. But if we don't see him this week, I think it's going to be slim. I don't think we see him.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But think about if you can get him out there and you can kind of work him in. I was telling Dev earlier, like, think about next year, like, whatever. You got Chris Henry Jr., Jeremiah Smith, and Mylan Graham. Like, that's bananas. Like, that didn't make sense.
Well, Chris Henry still got another year.
Oh,
He'll
that's
be a
right.
senior next year.
He's talking about reclassifying, right? And he didn't. Or he's not.
No, he's not going to reclass. And I think he just got hurt, but not too sure.
For the future, that's silly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to go ahead and dive into. We all watch the interviews. Is that the skull session? Is that what they call the skull session, or no?
No, the skull session is on game day.
Okay, that's after.
Before. Yeah, the skull session, they go to the gym, they bring all the fans there, and then they go ahead and talk to them, hype them up, the band plays, and then they walk over to the shoe.
Yeah,
nice.
I
wish I would have asked you that while not recording a video, because now I feel like an ignorant Buckeye fan. But truth is I was always very confused on what that was. My assumption was it was that, but I just always got confused. I think I see people other podcasts put out skull session videos where they're literally just interviewing people, and it confuses me. I'm like,
I get that. I think a lot of them do it just for like, come and watch this type thing. You know what I mean? They're playing exactly. They're playing on the name, but it's nothing wrong. We don't know everything. So it's nothing wrong with asking questions, even if we're recording or we're live, because we don't know everything. We're human. How will we? We're not in the program.
Yeah,
so there's nothing wrong with
else that doesn't know it. So.
Well, a few things that Day said, I want to get your guys' thoughts on. And if you guys heard anything else that he said that you want to talk about, go ahead and bring that up. But the first thing is, Day was asked about kick returns. Melo, you know how I feel there. And I think I heard him correctly when he said that both Ballard and Brandon Ennis are now practicing for kick returns. And he said he doesn't know who's going to get the first one or not, but I believe both of them are going to be in there. So that's some news. Who else has been back there with Ballard on the kick returns? It has not been Ennis, has it?
No.
Yeah,
I think it was Lorenzo Styles.
Yeah, they were talking about putting Lorenzo back there. Brandon Ennis or Jaden Ballard is the easiest decision in the history of the world.
Not according to my man Dev. He does not like Jaden Ballard back there. I'd rather see Ennis and Mylan Graham for me.
No, Mylan Graham would be awesome.
I think, Tony, is that what you were saying? Is you were saying it's an easy to pick Brandon over Ballard?
Yeah, just on mistakes alone this year.
Or were you saying that you like Ballard back there?
No, listen.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought he was saying.
No, listen. I don't think Jaden Ballard should even be a wide receiver on this team. I know that's harsh, but given the talent we have, and the mistakes he's made this deep in his career at Ohio State, that fair catch debacle and stuff or whatever, and Brandon Ennis is running down balls from 20 yards and grabbing them and getting 20 yards. That's who I want.
So you said you want to see Jaden Ballard transfer to Marshall and take that tutor NIL deal that they were offering, all you can eat biscuits?
By all means. I mean, sure, Penn State needs another wide receiver. They didn't get one divorce. So.
Hey, by the way, did you guys catch what the Marshall what the coach said? Used to coach over at Alabama, said this is the best team he's ever seen.
Yeah, that's clickbait trap stuff.
What did he say?
He said on film ever. And he said, and I mean ever, this is not hyperbole. That's exactly what he said. And he said it's better than the 2014 team that beat them.
Right. Dude, this is some type of, what he's trying to do is he's hoping every player reads that, gets a big head, and he thinks he's going to come in there and throw all over him. Because is Marshall not throwing the ball everywhere this year? Don't they have a pretty good pass offense? So
yes, sir.
That's, they were talking about that in the interviews as well. They asked Denzel Burke if he's excited to kind of get tested more than they have been this year. And Burke's like, for sure, dude. But back to Day real fast. Day brought up, I thought this was really interesting. He brought up the relationship that Seth McLaughlin and Will Howard have together and how close they are and how good they work together. And I found it interesting because Will Howard, in his interview earlier this week, stated how smart that Seth is and how that sometimes he calls protections before Will can get it out of his mouth. And I thought that was cool and an interesting thing to hear. I love hearing it.
Yeah,
I think that was the
absolutely.
steal in the transfer portal, flat out. Like Seth McLaughlin, everybody gave up on him and all that. Like, and I don't. As for the Marshall coach, like to me, that sounds like a trap. But the one thing that a lot of the Ohio State teams before haven't had is like they're playing with fire and they haven't got lackadaisical. They know this is every team's Super Bowl for them, and they know what they have, and they're ready to just kick people's teeth in and show them. Like they have not let up yet. Like I don't imagine Marshall's going to even put a dent in it, but I mean, it's cute that he tried it. It's adorable. I like it.
Well, I'm gonna touch both of those. In terms of Seth, Austin Saraville also says Seth is the captain of this O line, which kudos to Dev. He said that.
Yeah.
So you were right. It just another little check mark under the Devin was right box.
Kevin Thomas.
Yeah.
You trying to pull a Marshall coach on me right now, dude? I'm not falling for it.
Now to the Marshall coach. I think he was telling the legit truth. You heard Jim Tressel say the same thing. You heard Urban Meyer say the same thing, the coach of the 2014 team. And Urban Meyer said it many different times on many different platforms. And he said, no, I'm not joking. People think I'm joking when I say this. Look, that's the best team I ever seen in the past 10 years. He's like, and I mean that. I think he's honest about it. I think the Marshall coach truly knows. And I think he's saying it to set an expectation for his team and his fan base of what can happen. He's also setting an expectation to his team. Like you go out here and you have a day against this team, you're going to be playing on Sundays. I don't think it's any type of like rat poison, the BS that freaking Nick Saban and Kirby used to tell their kids. We're Ohio State. There ain't no rat poison. We're coming for your throat every game. We had that swag. We had that attitude. You see how all the Jersey boys on here is spreading throughout the team. The South Florida guys are spreading throughout the team. They're coming to kill you. They don't care what you got to say. You say they're the best. You say they're the worst. Either way, the results is the same. Foot on neck, belt to ass.
I love it, Melo. I love it, bro.
It's hard to get that many hired killers, like real killers, bought in to go just destroy people. Like, I wanted to see it from Ohio State team since I was a little kid, and we're finally seeing it. Like,
yeah. The other good thing I heard Dave say, I don't know if you guys caught this or not, but somebody asked him about Donovan coming back and how he feels about it and whatnot. One of the first things he brought up was how he felt like today's practice with Donovan back was one of the best practices the O-line has had in a while. And that got me excited
for once.
That got me excited. You know, he talked. So that's some good news, man. Hopefully that, goes over into the game. Also, one of the reporters brought up that Day had said previously, and this is just a reminder, that Lorenzo Styles has earned the right for more playing time. So there's kind of two notes. That's all I really picked up on about, when Day was talking. Did y'all hear anything else you want to hit on? Do you guys want to hit on something I just said about the O-line or anything?
I think you pretty much summed it up very well. The thing I did find interesting with Day and what he's been saying, not particularly just today, just over the different weeks, is this guy earned more playing time. This guy earned more playing time. You see the rotation is happening. So I feel like he's going to continue that rotation. I feel like our first, and especially on defense, our first and second string, even on offense, actually, maybe not the O-line, but our first and second strings are all like first teamers, legit. So I think this rotation thing is going to be a longevity thing. I think it's going to happen throughout the entire season, no matter who we're playing. I want to see how the rotation is when we get to October 12th, though. That's going to say a lot.
Yeah, it is, man. The only other interviews I caught were Denzel and Lorenzo. With Denzel, he's excited to be challenged by Marshall. Another thing that was interesting that he said is he touched on how he wished the schedule was better this year. And they went into more detail and they said, what do you mean by that? And he said he wanted a matchup game earlier in the season, and he wanted to see where they were at, like all these other teams in the nation get to do. And I found that interesting. And also, I like that. I like that mentality. And hopefully that's the same mentality of the rest of the team.
I think it feels like it. Even if you don't hear it from them, like you can see the way they play that they are all in. And that's awesome. I think Ryan Day, the fact that they're letting people get playing time and rewarding playing time, 2 or 3 years ago, Arvell Reese, even if he was killing it, would have not got past CJ Hicks just because of they couldn't admit they were wrong.
Right.
And now he's in there and he's right at the front. You know what I'm saying? It's turned into something awesome. And if anything, you have people like Lorenzo Styles. First of all, can we marvel at how great the Styles family is as just a family?
Right.
It's amazing. But
Tony, that's a perfect segue for I don't know if you saw it, but Arvell Reese also talked today.
I did not see that.
Man,
I didn't catch that one yet. I'm watching it after
this.
Go.
You have to. You both have to go check it out.
Fill us in. Tell us about it, bro.
Tell you.
Okay.
So Arvell Reese admittedly said he was just here last year because they were asking him how he made such a jump from last year to this year. And he said, honestly, I just started watching film with the coaches, aka James Laurentis and the assistants. And I started learning and studying. And he said I had a really good spring, and that gave me confidence that I could actually play linebacker. And they're like, "What? You didn't think you could play linebacker?" He was like, "Well, they moved me to DN because I was 230 last year, and they thought I was going to be about 250 by now, but I'm still 240. So they moved me on the line." He was like, "I like the line, but I love playing linebacker." He was like, "So I was just here. I wasn't really." They're like, "Was it because you didn't feel like you didn't believe in your talent or you didn't understand the defense?" He was like, "No, I always knew I was talented." He was like, "I was just here." Basically, pretty much what I got from it, he didn't want to play defensive end. And he thought they didn't have a role for him. So he said it wasn't hard not playing last year because he knew that it was his fault. He wasn't doing the things and it was all correctable. It wasn't like the coaches were holding anything against him. He knew it was on him for the reason he wasn't playing. He said James Laurentis pulled him to the side during the offseason and winter workouts this year and basically told him, dude, you could play here. You could do this. You could be an elite linebacker and go to the league. And then he had his spring, and then he started believing what James was telling him. And he said he's been diving in the film room like crazy. And they were asking him, how it seems like you're on every play. How are you doing that? He was like, is it some kind of premonition? It was Tim May's question, by the way. That's why he was asking him if it was a premonition. And he was like, no. He was like, I just study a lot and I make mistakes in practice, and then I go in the film room and I correct those mistakes. He's like, at Ohio State, you can't make the same mistake twice. You can make it once because we're all human, but you can't make it twice and think you're going to play. So I corrected all those mistakes, and studying the film so much, I knew what play they were running just by their alignment. So it allowed me to play faster, which brings me back to the CJ Hicks point, because he's not playing faster. Is he in the film room like that, or can he what's going on? Is he just not grasping and retaining the information that he's learning?
Yeah,
I have a theory that maybe it's something like how there's the JTT situation. Maybe he's just trying to be on his own path, and I feel like he's got the run blitzing stuff down and the pass rush stuff down, but I don't think he's committed to the other stuff because the other stuff's really hard. The other stuff's what matters. Your footwork. Lateral movement, all those sort of things. That's what matters. That's what you have to set in there and spend hours on. And if you're not committed to that, you're committed to just getting sacks and trying to get to the league, you look like that, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I love hearing that from Arvell, that was what he brought up in his interview. And that shows a lot of maturity and a lot of growth. And that also shows what we're about to see in the future. And that is an animal. And the key thing that I heard in there is sitting down watching film with James Laurentis.
And how magical has hired James Laurentis been in a short time?
Yeah, that'll change you, man, for sure. But
and that was a no-brainer hire. I don't know what took so long, man.
On top of all the other crazy hires we've had, I think James Laurentis might almost be the best one.
And the funny thing is, they was like, you got to prove that you can recruit. I want you to have that same energy with your right-hand man on the O-line, man. God. Prove that you can recruit, Justin.
Please do. Hey, overall, positive things, man. Excited to watch the Buckeyes play. I'm excited to see how these rotations end up. I'm excited to see Will Howard get a little more comfortable with his wide receivers. Let's see some big downfield plays. Let's see some more sacks. Let's see JT get after him a little more. I'm pumped, man. Not an improvement week this week, baby. We get to watch the Buckeyes play, man. So very excited, man. Any closing thoughts from you guys?
Go ahead, Mel. Go ahead.
Yeah, enjoy this weekend. It's going to be the last cupcake game, really. I guess technically, because we go straight into Big Ten play. Enjoy it. Have fun. Keep God first. You know, everything that we stand for over here. So.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Tony,
I say, like, just the first 2 weeks of watching Ohio State play in this season and the other games that have happened all across college football, this is one of the most special years of college football I've ever seen, and especially in Ohio State. I've been watching Ohio State since I could walk, and my dad is a diehard Ohio State fan. I've never been more excited about a season to go watch somebody like Marshall and see all these people play and be that excited to just going forward this is what we have, and we're executing it at this level. Like, you know, we lost people. We didn't have O-linemen. The O-lineman came out and killed it. Like, everybody has stepped up and everybody has bought in. And that it's been 25 years of the first part of my life wishing for this day. And everybody should cherish it. I promise.
Amen, man. I love it. Well, if you're watching, please don't forget to hit that like button, man. You get in that comment section down there and leave us a comment. I promise you, we will be responding to you. So don't forget, we're also a fan channel. So if you want the opportunity to come on here and talk some Buckeyes with us, send us an email at thebuckeyeboys@gmail.com. That's with 3 Z's at the end of it. Share us on your Twitter feed, man. Help us get our new channel out there. We'll see you next time, man. Go Buckeyes, OH.
I-O.
I-O.